Hi, everybody. It is 10:30, so I am going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the Intuit Field Service Management webinar. I am a qualified solutions provider with Intuit, and I specialize in Intuit Field Service Management. So what this means is I'm an independent agent. I own my own business called Field Service Advisors. I'm located on QuickBooks' national website, quickbooks.corrigo.com/local experts. If you are interested in purchasing after this webinar, please contact me directly as I'm giving away my time for free, and this is the only way that I get compensated is through sales of the product. So if you are interested, please, again, contact me directly rather than contacting QuickBooks directly, because then I don't get any credit for my time today. So that would be extremely beneficial if you are interested in purchasing. My contact information, my office's contact info is right up on the screen, 651-927-8850, or you can reach us by email, Rebecca@fieldserviceadvisors.com. Be sure to check out our website if you'd like, fieldserviceadvisors.com. We've got a plethora of videos that you can look over about Intuit Field Service and QuickBooks' other products. We can also speak to all the products that QuickBooks has: QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Point of Sale, QuickBooks Merchant Services. So please use us as a resource and be sure to follow up with us after the webinar if you'd like to have a one-on-one consultation with us for free. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Sometimes my PowerPoint locks up and won't let me get into the demo, but here I go. Here we are. So this is the desktop of Intuit Field Service Management, which is located in the cloud, and it communicates directly to QuickBooks Online through the cloud if you're using online, and it communicates through desktop directly through the file menu, which I'll show you today. So you just go here and then you synchronize, and then all the changes that you made on any customer records or any invoices are going to automatically come right over to QuickBooks Desktop. So I'll be going through that today. If you do have questions, please chat in to the chat to your chat area so I can answer them as I'm going along, and I'll be sure to get to them. So QuickBooks, the customer center within QuickBooks, all the customers are going to come over when we synchronize Intuit Field Service Management with QuickBooks for the first time. That includes all the price list items are also going to come over. So the technicians in the field and the people that are creating the invoices in the office are going to be able to see the same price list that you have in QuickBooks. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to create a new customer, and I'm going to create a work order for that customer under that customer, and I'm going to dispatch it to my technician in the field who's going to complete it, and then I'm going to synchronize that with QuickBooks. So I'm going to show you the whole process from start to finish. So with that, let's jump in and get started. I'm going to go ahead and create a new customer. I'm going to create a commercial customer. Okay, Old Navy, we service the doors for Old Navy. I'm going to say it's okay. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste the address. And I live in Minnesota. It is cold and but lovely. It's a lovely place to live, a cold place to live. But sometimes we get rewarded with really warm weather a few months out of the year, and then it makes everybody really happy. All right. Okay, and then all the taxes, tax items will come right over If you have tax items, even if you have hundreds of tax items, those will all come right over when we synchronize. All right, so I've got my new commercial customer, Old Navy, and I'm going to go ahead and start a new work order. So at this point, if any information is incorrect, this is where you would be verifying that information with a customer. If anything is incorrect, you can go ahead and correct that in this area. If not, you'd go ahead and move on. You'd confirm that you've got the phone number and the email on file. So now I'm in the second step of that work order wizard where I'm selecting a problem. So today I'm going to say it's the front doors are not thank goodness for spell check. Okay, and next. And I'm going to go ahead and say it's for today. And I'm going to assign it to my technician, Chris, who I'm logged in as Chris today. So he's got just a few work orders that I wanted to show you. And I am going to assign Matt Baker as the secondary technician. So you can assign as many people as you want to the same work order. Let me go back just 1 second. Let me just show you this map view. So just to see, hey, where is Chris in location to that work order? So this is the work order we're scheduling right now. And Chris is nearby. So let's go ahead and zoom in so we can take a look. So I'm going to click on this. So here's the work order we're editing now. And then I'm going to click on Chris's location. Oh, so he's already there. Let's just zoom in a little bit further. Okay, so he's not there yet. So here's the work order we're editing. And then Chris is still at the last job. Or he's at this job. He's probably waiting to get started on it. And then here is the job that he'll be taking next. And you can hover your mouse or just click on this to see what's going on with it, to see who the scheduled technician is, to see what the problem is. All right. And you can just hit next. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and finish it. Oh, so I just got it on my iPad, which I'm going to be using today. And this is what's going on here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay. Now it is in our pending view here. Let me just edit this assignment as I did not see it on the board. Let's make it. Here it is, Old Navy. Okay. Okay. Okay, I can see we've got a question here, so I'll get that answered. How does this keep track of their location? So it keeps track of their location directly through the tablet or the phone. So if they've got those location services turned on, it will keep track. Great question. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and so now I can see I've got Old Navy. Okay, so these come in order of how they were assigned. So I've got FedEx Grounds first, Old Navy second, Duck Donuts is third, Daniel Smith is fourth. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Old Navy here. And I'm going to go ahead and pick up and start this job. Okay, so the work's been started, and now I'm going to go ahead and take a few pictures. And if you are using the time card module with Intuit Field Service Management, it does track their time. No snow right now. It's my backyard. So the moment I hit either in route or start, it's going to start tracking my time. And when I hit pause or complete, it'll post my time to the time card. And that does integrate, send that out to the weekly timesheet with QuickBooks. I can click on the service address and get directions. I can call the customer and let them know I'm on the way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and complete this. And I'm going to touch my finger into the box and then use the voice microphone to speak in about what happened on this job. Customer called because the front doors were not functioning. I was able to fix both front doors, and I replaced the spring coil on either door. I was on site for 2 hours period. So at this point, I could add those doors. It doesn't look like I've got doors here as a piece of equipment. But you could add those doors if you needed to. You would do that through the settings, and then you would make doors a piece of equipment, so that way the technician could select it and then add any attributes they needed to add. I'm going to hit done and complete. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to my next job. So I'm finished. I'm not going to take an invoice on site because the customer isn't available to give me a payment, so it's something we bill out for. So I'm going to just move on to my next job here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose one of my residential customers now. Daniel Smith. Looks like a blower is not working, so I'm going to on probably the furnace. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up and start this job, and I'm going to go ahead and complete it now. Oops. Okay, complete. And I'm going to make a note about what was done. And how I'm completing this is I'm clicking on the status and just changing the status, which drives the completion of the work order. I was on site for 2 hours. I was able to fix the blower on the furnace period by replacing the coil on the back of the unit period. So now I'm going to add that furnace. And if I needed to edit those attributes just to check that they were correct, or maybe there was something that wasn't added before, you can add any of that information here. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and take an invoice, because I am going to take a payment on site because the customer was available. I'm going to add my labor, and remember, this is the price list that is coming directly from QuickBooks. I was on site for, say, 2 hours. Oops. And then I'm going to go ahead and add those parts that I used. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and take a payment. Well, before you do that, you could get a signature if you wanted to. You would turn this around, get the customer's signature on your phone or tablet, and then you would go ahead and send off that invoice to them, attach a copy of that signature, and now let's go ahead and get a payment. So I'm going to say if it's a credit card, you'd put the credit card number directly in, the name on the card, and hit charge. And this is through Intuit Payments. But I'm going to do a check today. I'm going to say it's email off a copy of that payment receipt, and I would have to bring that check back into the office. Yes, you can. So if you do have a price book that you've created on your own and it is on Excel, you can absolutely import that price sheet directly into QuickBooks Desktop. So I can help you with that as part of my process. If I know that's something we've got to do, we can get that done for you. So yes, and then that would show up directly within the app. Great question. Okay, so now that that has been completed, let's just go over to our completed view here. So we can see we've completed Daniel and we've completed Old Navy. So if we click directly on this work order here, we're going to be able to see the amount that was collected. We can see it was paid by check. So this one is finished. We can open it. Yep, it was on that furnace. It's got any attributes that technician may have added, and it's got the parts and the labor. Now, if this does not look correct, you could still open it at this point, and you could still edit this work order. So now I've moved it to prepared, which means it's not in the stage for QuickBooks to take it yet because it needs to be approved for the export to happen. But I can add additional charges at this point if that were to occur. They were to forget something, you can absolutely still make changes to it before it gets over to QuickBooks. Okay, and now let's take a look at Daniel Smith, who did not have a payment taken in the field. Oops, sorry, that was the one that did. It was Old Navy, the one that did not. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create the invoice now. So using this work done note is how you would create that invoice. So I'm going to add my labor because I can see that he was on site for 2 hours. And I'm going to add that coil. Okay, and you can say, the labor is, non-taxable, and then the parts are taxable, or both is taxable, or both are non-taxable. I'm going to go ahead and approve this now and hit save. So now, before I run that synchronization with QuickBooks, I'm going to run a report to find out, hey, what are the invoices that have what are the work orders that have been completed but don't yet have an invoice prepared? So I've created this report called Invoice List. I've put it in my management queue, and I've just set the filters to what is the status of the invoice approved yet? If it's not, I want to know about it. If it's been completed and it doesn't have an invoice prepared, we need to know which work orders we need to get invoices finished on. So I can see I've only got 2 here that need my attention. So I'm just going to click complete these so that way I can run a full synchronization with QuickBooks. So just by clicking directly on that work order, I can add my charges. It says I was on site for the day. Okay, so I'll just add our daily standard labor here. So I'm just going to say 8 hours. Hopefully it's a little bit more descriptive than this. That's why you've got to talk to the tech. By clicking on this black link here, you can find out who that technician was. And if you need more details, if that work done description is not in the best shape. Okay, and then let's go ahead and complete the second one. And I can see I've already got my line items added. Okay, those look good. I'm going to go ahead and approve this and hit save. So now I'm ready to run that synchronization with QuickBooks. Corrigo is the name of the company that created Intuit Field Service Management, and they still handle all the technical support. So when you do purchase Intuit Field Service Management, you will be billed by Intuit, and Corrigo will handle the servicing, the technical support of the product. Corrigo has been in business for over 30 years. They are a Fortune 500 company, and they've been running Intuit Field Service Management for QuickBooks for since 2007. Okay. All right, we've got another question. Let's see. So yes, we're going to go over the charges right at the end. I will bring up the fees right up at the end here, which we'll go over shortly, how we bill this product. So great question. I'm going to go right over that in just a few minutes. Okay, so this synchronization does take a few minutes to run, so go ahead and make sure you run it once a day. I do have customers of mine that run it once every 10 minutes because they just want to have those work orders sent over to QuickBooks. So if you do have QuickBooks on multiple computers, you do have multiple people working inside your QuickBooks file, make sure everybody has the synchronization in their file menu, and that's something that we can do together. I do set up, install, and train on this product. So when you are ready to move forward, I would handle everything from start to finish, installing it, training your employees, taking you through the entire process before going live and after going live. Okay, so you can see it's going to add those invoices for us. Okay, moving right along. And it's going to be finished here shortly. Okay, so I'm going to go to my customer center and let's take a look at, Old Navy. They're a brand new customer. All right, so this is the one that does not have a payment taken on it. That came right over, and you can tell because the invoice number does become that work order number. And you can see here in the memo that it does say the work order number here. I'm going to email this off. Okay, and if you are using Intuit Merchant, you can see here that those charges, that payment link will be right here, right at the bottom of the invoice for that customer to go ahead and click on and pay. If you don't have a merchant account yet with your QuickBooks, I can absolutely help you synchronize your company file with QuickBooks Merchant. It's a small process, and I would take you through it. I will take you through it as part of my process. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the other customer that we did. So this one did have a payment. Let's go ahead and find out. Okay, it was paid by check. It was 0439. Okay, that is not the right one. So let's go. Here it is. And this one did have a payment taken on it. So at this point, what you're going to do is just run a quick report to find out, hey, what are all the invoices that came over? So that way, you don't have to memorize, hey, which ones came over, which ones didn't. So I said invoice list exported to QuickBooks. So let's go ahead and run this to find out what are the ones that came over today, so I can go to those customers and get those invoices printed or emailed off. So here's the report I created. You can see Daniel Smith had a few, and it'll tell you which ones had a payment and which ones did not. If they did have a payment, it's going to say yes and the payment type. So as you can see, this is so all of these invoices were exported over today. So most of them did not have payments, just only a few. So these are the ones that you're going to have to go and you're going to have to export this to Excel and then print off this report, so you can then go right to the customer center and go right to those customers. If you do have if you are printing all of your invoices, that's even better, because the print forms, it'll send all of these work orders directly to print forms. Say if it has a payment or not. Okay, now let me bring up the pricing. Without further ado, we've reached the end of our presentation, so I'm going to just bring up the pricing here. It's just going to give you my information one more time. If you do want to contact me directly after this is over, that would be great, and I may, call you if you've been on this webinar at some point, this week or next week, just to follow up with you, just to see if you did have more questions that we couldn't answer for you today. I'd love to answer more one-on-one. So here's the pricing. If you've got 1 to 10 users, so then a user would be somebody that's in the office and a technician. So if somebody is creating work orders for the technicians or dispatching those work orders to the technicians, they would need to have a license. So that they would need to have a license. And then the technicians in the field that are accepting a work order would need to have a license. If you do want the system to track time, that would be an additional $15 per user per month. If you do have reoccurring work, so preventative maintenance work, you service equipment on a reoccurring basis. For example, you service the furnace in the fall and the AC in the spring. If you do that kind of work, I would highly recommend getting the service agreement module as well. So let me just make sure I answered that question that came up. Does this charge per tech or just one fee monthly? It does charge per technician, yes. That would give the technician the ability to go into the mobile application on their phone or tablet, and it would give them the ability to get onto the browser as well. But the technician would only be able to see just their work. If you wanted to make them management in the system, that's another conversation for another day about what they would have access to. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it very much. Tune in every Wednesday at 10:30 Central Standard Time. Thank you.